Heavenly Father, as we begin the season of summer with vacations, summer activities, and travel, be with us as we enjoy this beautiful country you have given us. Let us safely enjoy family, friends, and facilities we have worked so hard to enjoy. Be with this legislative body as we begin the budgeting season with a host of unknowns. Let us continue to provide value to the residents of our great county. Although we just memorialized the fallen service members of all the great wars and conflicts, we would be remiss if we did not acknowledge those 13 souls who were lost and gave their ultimate sacrifice recently in the Iran war. Be with their loved ones in this time of grief. Watch over the rest of our military and first responders who selflessly serve the citizens of this great nation, state, and county. And please give solace to those sick and afflicted and their families and give them peace. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right. So U.S. Marine Corps Sergeant Matthew Lippincott is leading today's Pledge of Allegiance. Lippincott served 8 years and 4 months as a rifleman in the 1st Battalion, 6th Marine Regiment, and the 2nd Battalion, 2nd Marine Regiment, with assignments at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, and in Fallujah and Ramadi, Iraq. A decorated veteran, he earned the Combat Action Medal, Iraq Campaign Medal, and 3 Sea Service Deployment Ribbons. He joined the military in response to September 11, 2001, and learned during his service that life is short. So it's important to enjoy every day and make the most of the time you have. His favorite military memory is the camaraderie and brotherhood among his fellow Marines. I'm sorry, I'm not talking very well today. Now a resident of Middleburg, Lippincott continues to serve his community as a range safety officer at the Clay County Outdoor Adventure Park. We thank you for your service to our country and your ongoing commitment to our community. Please lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Commissioners, for the opportunity and honor to come out here. Thank you for taking care of this county and letting it be the #1 county for all veterans to live in. We do appreciate you. Thank you very much for the opportunity again.
Thank you. All right, please be seated. Call to order, Board of County Commissioners meeting for May 26, 2026. I have all of my fellow commissioners here, and we'll go right into pet adoptions.
Okay, our first dog today is Bubbles, a neutered male, 4 months old, mixed breed, and weighs 36 pounds. Meet our extra large 4-month-old mixed breed puppy who believes every dog he meets is his new best friend. He's great with other dogs, though senior pups may not appreciate his parkour phase. Like any puppy, he'll need continued training and patience. But he's hilarious, lovable, goofball, ready to steal your couch, possibly your socks and your heart. Our first cat is Bobby Jean, spayed female, domestic short hair, a year old, and weighs 7 pounds. Meet Bobby Jean, professional biscuit maker, part-time lap warmer, full-time beauty queen. This 1-year-old tabby may be small in size, but her love is supersized. Bobby Jean's hobbies include following you around like a furry assistant manager, accepting compliments, and pretending she's helping with chores. If you're looking for a cuddle bug with charm, sass, and beauty, Bobby Jean is your girl. Our next dog is Russell, a neutered male, mixed breed, 1-year-old, and weighs 8 pounds and is heartworm negative. Meet Russell, the polite little scout from Up, brought to life as a dog. Need help crossing the road? Porch supervision? Emotional support on neighborhood walks? Russell is on it. With great manners, a goofy personality, and a heart of a tiny wilderness explorer, he's ready to earn every badge straight to your heart. And lastly, we have Ray, a neutered male, domestic short hair, a year old, and weighs 9 pounds. Meet Ray, a handsome tuxedo cat with a big body and even bigger opinions. He takes his job as cage cleaning supervisor very seriously and will appear the moment you start tidying up to make sure you're doing it correctly. He's friendly, affectionate, and always ready for attention. Basically, your new coworker who never clocks out. Ray is looking for a loving home and a new employee to supervise. And if you're ready to meet your new best friend, our adoptable animals are waiting to add some extra love and fun to your life. From wagging tails to purring kitties, we've got the perfect companion just for you. If you want to see who's available, you can head over to our website and meet our adorable crew looking for their forever homes. If you have questions, you can drop us a line at clayadoptions@claycountygov.com and let's chat. Don't wait. Your new best friend is just a click away. And if you're not ready for a long-term commitment, why not foster? Kittens like Augie, that is pictured there, are always looking for heroes. And if you're interested in helping our furry friends, but you can't bring one home, please take a look at our Amazon wish list. We are always in need of items for the shelter animals. Just go to Amazon.com. And that completes our pet adoptions.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, will my fellow commissioners meet me up front for 3 proclamations? Thank you, ma'am. You go ahead. All right. Older Americans Month, observed in May, honors the invaluable contributions of older adults, recognizes the dedication of caregivers, and promotes healthy aging and strong community connections, allowing older adults to live with dignity, independence, and purpose. We are pleased to welcome Linda Levin, CEO of ElderSource, Aging True CEO Sam Hall, and You Me Care CEO Alex Moore to help us with the recognition. If y'all could come on up. Yes. More the merrier. Hello. Yep, come right here in the middle there. Great. Right. All right. So after we read the proclamation, we welcome some brief remarks from our guest, and Commissioner Scrumlow is going to read it.
The proclamation reads, whereas May is nationally recognized as Older Americans Month, a time to honor the contributions and resilience of older adults, acknowledge the evolving needs of aging populations, and reaffirm our commitment to their health, independence, and well-being. And whereas Clay County's older population continues to grow, with residents 65 and older making up 17.8% of the population, and many of the county's 28,000 veterans also being older adults, highlighting the need for health services, caregiver support, and programs that help residents age safely at home. And whereas many other adults and caregivers face challenges like managing chronic conditions, navigating long-term care, maintaining independence, and overcoming social isolation, and partnerships among governments, non-for-profits, service providers, faith groups, neighborhoods, and volunteers to help ensure that they receive this essential support and the resources that they need. Whereas ElderSource, the Aging and Disability Resource Center of Northeast Florida, also empower people to live and age with independence and dignity by coordinating nutrition services, caregiver support, health and wellness initiatives, home and community-based support, and access to benefits and resources. Whereas the 2026 national theme, Champion Your Health, encourages older adults and caregivers to prioritize prevention, wellness, self-advocacy, and healthy aging through community connections and resources while celebrating older adults who enrich our communities and the caregivers who support them. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners in Clay County, Florida does hereby proclaim May 2026 as Older Americans Month in Clay County, and we encourage all residents to recognize the value of older adults, support caregivers, participate in health-promoting activities, and champion your health by engaging with programs and services that help people age with independence and dignity. Duly adopted by the Board of County Commissioners, Clay County, Florida, this 26th day of May, 2026. Do I have a motion? In a second. All in favor? Aye. And it passes unanimously, and we're proud to celebrate Older Americans Month this month in Clay County.
As CEO of ElderSource and joined by CEO of Aging True, one of the providers we work with, and 2 of our board members, just want to thank the Board of County Commissioners for both recognizing the needs of older adults in the community, but also their contributions, and raising the awareness in the community of the importance for taking charge of our health, being champions of our own health and our destiny, and hoping to help people age with independence and dignity. So thank you.
All right, so next we have Mental Health Awareness Month. It's recognized in May to raise awareness, reduce stigma, and encourage individuals and communities to prioritize mental health and seek support when needed. Please join us in welcoming Suzanne Maylou, CEO of the National Alliance on Mental Illness, Jacksonville, and Irene Toto, our very own CEO of Clay Behavioral Health Center, to help us with the recognition. If y'all can come on up, and whoever else you have with you. We appreciate you all being here today. And let's see, we will, Commissioner Condon is going to read the proclamation.
Whereas mental illness affects millions of Americans from anxiety and depression to PTSD and other serious conditions, with 1 in 5 adults experiencing mental illness each year and 1 in 20 facing serious mental health challenges. And whereas stigma, lack of awareness, and barriers to care prevent many from getting help, leaving nearly half of adults and youth untreated, while promoting mental health, raising awareness and community resources, and focusing on prevention and early intervention can greatly reduce the impact of these conditions. And whereas Clay Behavioral Health Center Incorporated is dedicated to improving the quality of life for Clay County residents by providing affordable, community-based mental health and substance use services, including counseling, psychiatric care, school-based services, and same-day access for youth, adults, seniors, and families. And whereas the National Alliance on Mental Illness Jacksonville supports individuals and families affected by mental illness and co-occurring substance use through free support groups, education, advocacy, outreach programs, and community events aimed at reducing stigma and increasing public awareness. And whereas May 2026 marks the 77th annual Mental Health Awareness Month, and the National Alliance on Mental Illness Jacksonville's 2026 theme, Turning Silence into Connection, encourages sharing personal stories to reduce stigma and affirms that healing begins in community through connection, understanding, and shared experience. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners, Clay County, Florida, does hereby proclaim May 2026 as Mental Health Awareness Month in Clay County, and urges all residents to challenge stigma and utilize resources provided by organizations such as the National Alliance on Mental Illness Jacksonville and Clay Behavioral Health Center to support mental wellness, strengthen relationships, and improve overall quality of life. Duly adopted by the Board of County Commissioners, Clay County, Florida, this 26th day of May 2026. Do we have a motion? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Of course, there are none, and it passes unanimously. Who would like the mic?
Hi, thank you. Thank you to the commissioners for giving us this opportunity with your leadership in bringing awareness to mental illness and breaking down stigma. Last year at this time, the statistics showed that 47.9% of adults got the care that they need. This year, statistics show that 60% has gotten the care that we need, adults. Yep, so we're making great movement, great progress in mental health. It's due to your leadership, it's due to our community, it's due to our incredible partners, Clay Behavioral, community-based mental health care. It's due to people like NAMI Jacksonville that share our lived experience and our stories so that we all feel that we're not alone in our journey, that there is a place to seek help, and we can only do it with all of us together. So thank you. I will turn it over to Irene, a staple in the community for mental health.
Thank you. I'll just add to Suzanne's words that every month is Mental Health Awareness Month for us at CBHC. And so when we increase awareness, we increase conversations. And when we have more conversations, we have more understanding, more support, and greater access to care. So thank you for this recognition.
Thanks for coming, man.
All right, so the Orange Park Charter Chapter of the American Businesswomen's Association celebrated 50 years of service and impact in Clay County on May 16, 2026. We are pleased to help recognize their 5 decades of empowering women in business today with a proclamation. It's our honor to welcome several representatives of the Orange Park Charter Chapter of the American Businesswomen's Association. We are also pleased to welcome Undersheriff Ron Linvey, Assistant Chief Stacy Ways, and Assistant Chief Ashley Barber, who will share remarks about the great work being done by the local ABWA chapter on behalf of Shara Cook, who could not be here today. Would all of you join us up front? Commissioner Compere is going to read our proclamation today.
The proclamation reads, whereas on September 22nd, 1949, Shirley Cupp, Irma Beisel, Frances Stuckey, and Hillary Burfton Jr. founded the American Business Women's Association to empower women to pursue professional careers and leadership opportunities at a time when society often discouraged those ambitions. And whereas for more than 75 years, the American Business Women's Association has broken barriers and advanced opportunities for women in business by providing professional development, networking support, and recognition while paving the way for future generations. And whereas although opportunities for women in business have grown, the mission of the American Business Women's Association remains to unite and empower women of diverse occupations, while fostering personal and professional growth for themselves and others. And whereas on May 16, 2026, the Orange Park Charter Chapter of the American Business Women's Association will celebrate 50 years of service and impact Clay County, Florida, having met monthly for 5 decades to build community and to empower women in the workforce, and proudly continuing to gather at its original charter location, Club Continental in Orange Park, Florida. And whereas the Orange Park Charter Chapter has strengthened the community by providing leadership opportunities, scholarships, mentorship, lifelong learning, and support that empower women personally and professionally since its charter date of May 16, 1976. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners, Clay County, Florida, hereby honors and recognizes the American Business Women's Association Orange Park Charter Chapter 1345 for 50 years of dedicated service to the Clay County community and congratulates the chapter on its golden anniversary celebration, 50 years strong, held on Tuesday, May 19th, 2026, recognizing 5 decades of empowering women in business, honoring the past, and embracing the future. Duly adopted by the Board of County Commissioners, Clay County, Florida, this 26th day of May, 2026. Do I have a motion? All in favor, say aye. It is unanimous. Congratulations, ladies.
Well, good afternoon. What an honor. We thank you so much, commissioners, for this wonderful, incredible recognition of 50 years as the Orange Park Charter Chapter here in Clay County. We welcome you ladies to come visit us any Tuesday, well, the third Tuesday at Club Continental in the audience from 6 to 8 p.m. And we're looking forward to another 50 years empowering women in education, in civic duties, and all the great things. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. I'm going to read a statement on behalf of Sheriff Cook. I guess to you ladies, she credits her success. In 1991, I applied to go to the police academy. I needed $500 to pay the tuition. I did not have the money, and my own bank would not give me the $500 loan. When I told the bank manager my plan to go into law enforcement, the bank manager said, "Young ladies have no business doing police work, and I'm saving you from yourself by denying your loan." I was disappointed, but not deterred. While on this journey to enter into law enforcement, I read an article in the newspaper about the ABWA. I decided to write the organization a letter and ask for the $500 I needed. Within a couple of weeks, I was at an ABWA meeting accepting a letter of support and a $500 check. Needless to say, I would not be here if it weren't for the AWBA. It's a lot of letters to say. I cannot thank them enough for not only supporting me in 1991, but for continued work in supporting women with the courage to chase their dreams. Thank you, Sheriff Cook.
All right. And I had the honor of speaking at their 50th anniversary, and a lot of fun and great group of women and some good food also at Club Continental, I have to say. Very good. Thank you. Anything else?
You're well, very enlightening. Thank you.
And thank you for reaching out. Help with that.
You got it. Congratulations. As you can see, they're doing well because me and JB are outnumbered.
That's right. All right, so up next, we have a special presentation. We are pleased to announce that Waste Management is joining us today to award $50,000 in post-secondary educational scholarships to 5 Clay County High School seniors. We had 49 applications submitted this year, an increase from last year's 35. So that's exciting to see so many students interested in this great scholarship opportunity. We're proud to have with us tonight several of those recipients, as well as Greg Huntington, Waste Management Senior Account Executive, who will present these awards. If y'all want to come on up. So we also ask our scholarship recipients to join us up front. We have Caroline McKenzie Alexander from Middleburg High School. I guess I'll wait till y'all get up here to say that. All right, so Caroline Alexander, which one is it? Okay. And we have Brenna Finnegan from Ridgeview High School. We also have Savannah Garriott from Fleming Island, Shamira St. Hilaire, That's right, yep. From Oak Leaf High School. Yep. And then Chloe Tony from Middleburg High School. All right, so we're going to have remarks from, where'd Greg go?
Well, thank you, Chairwoman. Yes, my name is Greg Huntington, Senior Account Executive with WM, AKA Waste Management. We are the largest sustainability company in North America, so we place a great emphasis on keeping your communities clean and eco-friendly. So I always never miss an opportunity to just say thank you to this commission, to county staff, with the partnership that we share with the county in providing these critical environmental services. So we're tasked with taking things out of your community, but at the same time, we want to find unique ways to give back to the community. And what a better way to give back to the community in order to give to the next generation of current Clay County residents, but potential future leaders in Clay County. So it's really an honor for us to be able to bless these students with $10,000 in scholarships money. It probably only puts a dent in the cost of colleges today, but it's a pleasure for us to do that. And I'd be remiss if I didn't at least draw attention to county staff. Kaylee Brenner and Madison Ellis. Kaylee's here. Kaylee, are you here? There she is in the back. Madison is having a sick day, unfortunately, but they did a tremendous amount of work to pull together the scholarship recipients application, and it's merit-based. I mean, so it's, grade point averages, it's class rank, it's community service, it's essays, and staff really did a good job of pulling that together. It made it easy on us as an evaluation committee, so we're happy to be able to provide these scholarships for these 5 wonderful ladies. Thank you.
Good luck. All right, our next presentation will be from Division of Inspector General Audit Plan for FY 2026.
Good evening, Commissioners. You should all have a copy of this audit plan for 2026, the remaining fiscal year. We already have some of these projects started. Some of them are rolled over from prior year where it was just a continuation where we didn't get to them in 2025. And then a lot of these will be running concurrently throughout the summer until April. So I'm here today to answer any questions or concerns about any of the projects we have listed.
Madam Chair. Nick, I commend all the work that you do. It's a very aggressive plan. Is there, because fiscal year 2026, we have about
4 months.
About 4 months,
Yeah.
So you
So our plan is to have each auditor complete 1 audit per quarter. However, you'll see a lot of these double listed, like the vendor master file, the information technology, those will be running concurrently.
okay.
So really it's 1 project, but broke it down into 2. So with 3 auditors, we should be able to get through most of this. The only one I would be concerned about not getting to is the state and federal grants. And
Yeah.
we just wanted to list that there in case we do have the time for it.
Okay.
If we don't, it'll roll over to the next year.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna ask about that, or if is it all grants or just a sampling of grants or?
We haven't scoped it yet, but all grants would be subject to the scope as of today.
Okay. Thank you.
For the chair, Nick, maybe you're not the person to answer this question, but all these are concerning the county, you know, the county administration. And who audits supervisor of election, property appraiser, sheriff's department, tax collector, or is there no audit over there?
That's a good question. So it's my understanding that our Division of Inspector General has jurisdiction over the county administration and then the clerk of court and comptroller as well. Those other jurisdiction or those other constitutionals should have their own Inspector General office set up or some sort of auditor set up.
I can add more context. So it's not unheard of, we don't have jurisdiction over the other constitutionals. However, we can enter into a mutual MOU should the sheriff's office or the supervisor of election ask for us to come in with a specific scope. We can do it under an MOU, but other than that, we can't add them to our plan otherwise.
I think with my brief review of Florida statutes, I think you're limited to the county, is that correct?
County and the clerk.
County and clerk, right? So do they all have their own IG?
They do not. I know that the different agencies, the different constitutionals through different agencies get audited and from different angles. You know, law enforcements get audited left and right, so does supervisor of election. That's done through the state, through their respective positions and authorities. Some counties that have an IG office through the clerk do get into MOUs, but again, it has to be a mutual understanding of scope between the two agents or to the two constitutionals. Does that help?
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to presentation of the Clay County Popular Annual Financial Report.
My name's Dylan Averett, the Assistant Finance Director for the Comptroller's Office. I help prepare the PAFR. So the reason that we have the PAFR is because not a lot of citizens can read the financial statements, nor do they understand them. That's not any fault of their own. It takes a special person to read governmental financial statements, not to toot my own horn. But so Clerk Green was a big push for this initiative to create a PAFR, which kind of summarizes the 200-page audit report for key highlights and things that the citizens might have questions over. So that's why we're presenting it today for you guys and the citizens who watch to be aware of its availability. So we start with a message from the clerk, kind of summarizing the things and highlighting the different topics that we cover later in the report. We have the table of contents, which also helps guide what we do. Some of the language at the top is required for the statutes for it. We have an about our office, which kind of breaks down like Nick's department, our department, the court system, the county recorder and archivist. We have some quick facts where we include these because to make the PAFR, we have to generate the annual comprehensive financial report, which requires a lot more statistics that go into it. We wouldn't be able to do that without the help of all the county departments, and I really appreciate them giving me the information, even though they probably get tired of seeing my emails. And then continue. We let all the constituents know who their commissioners are, in case they aren't aware. All the constitutional officers and their websites, which we also use to pull some of this information. Then we go into our local economy with our top 5 taxpayers, which is Clay Electric, Florida Power and Light, Innovations Home, Mid-America Apartments, VR Oakleaf Limited Partnerships. If you don't know what the other 3 are, they are construction companies, homes, rentals. We go into the unemployment rate, the top 5 private employers for the county. We discuss the housing market, as that's a popular item for discussion. We compare Clay County's average home price to the state and to the United States. We are under both the average. We also break down the number of deeds, foreclosures, and mortgages filed with the clerk's office. And then one of our highlights is the sources of the revenue that we get, as that's been a very large topic of diversifying our revenue streams. What can we do? As you will see on here, property tax is our largest source of revenue. And then we break that down. You go to the next slide. When we break down the property tax, we use the property appraiser's website to break down how the percentage of every dollar that is collected and where it goes. The county gets the general fund, the law enforcement MSTU, the fire control MSTU. We're going to start getting the conservation lands. We have a chart for the amount of property taxes we've collected. As you can see, it's grown significantly. Hopefully that continues. We also break down all of the other taxes that we collect, and we kind of give 5 years here just for transparency. There's a lot of the discretionary sales tax, the fuel taxes. For those who don't know, the parimutuel tax is a gambling tax. So Best Bet Orange Park is why we received that. The gross receipt tax is hazardous waste fee. So that's why that one fluctuates a lot. It depends. And then we break down the budget into the different fund categories that we have and kind of the percentage of how much we're spending of the $885 million budget last year. Then we kind of summarize the general fund budget, which is where the board has the most discretion of where we can spend the funds into the different categories to give an idea of where we are spending our money. We break down the total county government-wide budget and expenditures, and we kind of give a definition of what each different area are. I'm sure you're all familiar with them, but for the average taxpayer, maybe they can use the definitions. And then we break down the enterprise funds, which would be the solid waste and the universal collection, to show how much money we're collecting based on operating, which would be the charges for services. The non-operating revenues are interest and like franchise fees for the solid waste fund, to show where we are with those. We give a breakdown of the reserves by the capital project, the special revenue, and the general fund. The reason for the large increase last year in the capital projects was the new bond that we received. And then we give a breakdown of our investments. And last year we earned $18.8 million in interest from our investment portfolio. And we break down where we've invested the funds into the different qualified public depositors and investment services. We have a schedule of the future debt service payments for the bonds. Each year it's $14.1 million. We should be done with those by 2039. And then we do our net worth. This is a balance sheet, very high level for the governmental, which is your general funds, special revenue funds, capital projects, and your business type, which is the solid waste and universal collection. And then we have just kind of definitions of some of those accounting terms on there for anyone who might need them broken out. Is the last page just a beautiful picture of the dock and the water.
It is.
Any questions or comments?
I just have a quick comment, and that's to compliment the clerk on this. This is a great resource document for the public, easy to read, maybe require a little bit of research, but it presents a whole county fiscally in one short, pleasant document, so I want to compliment Clerk Green.
Thank you. It really goes out to the team that did it. I mean, between Dylan and David, working with Victoria and administration, we did this all in-house with our own talent and our own time. So I'm very proud of the work that they've done. This is our third year making it, and we invite feedback from all the commissioners and any of the staff that have any feedback for us. We would love to hear it.
Clerk Green, good job. I do second Commissioner Renninger. This is really, really nice. And as still a fairly new commissioner, you're always learning, and it's a very valuable tool. One of the things that I think would be interesting is, we hear historically, and I've brought this up on the board floor multiple times, about how property tax income has increased. The one thing that has also increased is cost. So I'd be interested to see if you have a total property tax increase, and then look at our expenditures and see how they have either followed that or exceeded that, et cetera.
Okay, just to clarify, tax revenue only to cost.
Correct, as
Got it.
far as like what it was spent on, if that makes sense, yeah.
Got it.
Yep, we can do that. And I just do want to make note that this is available on the clerk website as well. So you do not have to have a printed copy. And it's much easier to download than the 200-page audit report.
Yes. And we do have physical copies that we can provide you guys if you want to take them out to, like, when you do town hall meetings, HOA meetings, sometimes it's a good leave behind. Rotary meetings, chamber, wherever you may be, it may be a good leave behind, and we have quite a bit we could probably share with you. Not because we bought too many, because the package got lost in the mail and they comped us another double. So we ended up with more.
Perfect.
So please feel free to take them.
Awesome.
Anyone else?
Through the chair. Thanks, Clerk Green and Nick, for your presentation today. I do have a question about what you provided, page 9, for clarity. So the first question that came to mind was these revenue sources. At the bottom, we have what I would characterize as overview language. So the other taxes category has a breakdown of what those other taxes are. Could we get maybe a general overview of what miscellaneous would include?
Yes, those are kind of like one-time revenues that we receive, usually contributions, donations, or sales of fixed assets, like when we put a piece of equipment up for auction and is sold. Those types of things are normally included in the miscellaneous. I think interest is also classified there. Those are what normally goes into that.
Okay, so I know that there's an electronic version of this online. Is there maybe a table or a page that would speak to that? Because to your point, Clerk Green, if we're taking these into town halls or people are asking us probing questions, I don't have an answer for that. But you supplied one. I know that there is
Right.
an answer. I just need to know where I could find it.
We can put that together as a supplement for you guys to have on hand. So if you get asked those questions and they say, oh, well, what is the almost 9% of miscellaneous? You can have to your point, a chart, because it's like he said, it's going to change year over year. Feel like you can pull it for, obviously, with all the information we have for 25.
Yep, we can get that
Get
together
that to each of you for sure.
this week.
Thank you. That's good. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Dylan.
Thank you.
Very good. And of course, we know you have a great team already too. Yes, very good. Thank y'all so much. All right, anything else from the sheriff's office? No? And clerk?
One more thing, just a heads up to the public and then to your constituents as you're out and about. Commissioner Scromolo was probably one of about 8 people who had sent me a text about the spam text going out again from, it appears to be from Florida Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles. It's yet another scam to try to hook people into frantically trying to pay off a fine for fear they're going to lose their license. That is not how it's done. So if you get those, I always say ignore them. And if you're really concerned, pick up the phone and call the clerk's office to verify that you're in good standing. But we've seen across the state, it's been a big wave for now about a year and a half, 2 years, and there are a lot of victims of the spam and who have went and paid the money unnecessarily. So just a heads up, it's out again.
All right, I don't think we have any other ones. So, and we have approval of minutes.
Make a motion to approve the Board of County Commissioners meeting minutes from May 12th, 2026.
I'll second the motion.
All right, motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we'll move on to public comments. This portion of the agenda is designed to allow citizens an opportunity to bring matters to the attention of the board. At this time, the board will not engage in debate or answer questions. You may email askclay@claycountygov.com, and staff will address your questions, or you may email your district commissioner. Public comment cards are conveniently placed at the meeting room entrance and should be submitted to the clerk on the far left of the dais. You are to limit your comments to 3 minutes. Before addressing the board, please state your name and address. Now I'd like to open the first public comment period at today's meeting. Do we have anyone? All right. We will close the public comment and move on to consent agenda. I'll take a motion.
I'll move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and we will move on to letters for action, discussion of appointment to the Tourist Development Council. An application for appointment was received from Michael Folker.
I'll move approval.
I'll second the motion.
And then, Madam Chair, just to discuss, he was in attendance at the Tourism Development Council meeting, has an extensive background in the community, both volunteering, coaching, you name it. He's been very involved for a long time, and the TDC was happy. They unanimously approved him. So,
Very good.
I think he'll be a good fit.
All right, so we had a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Welcome, Michael, to the TDC. Letters of documentation, bid opening tabulations for Oak Leaf Community Park drainage improvements and mosquito control program. And we also have the Tourist Development Council meeting minutes for March 4th, 2026. And I have a second public comment. Anybody still? Anybody? Going once? All right, Commission Auditor? All right, County Attorney?
Just a couple of things. The CRC met at their last week, and that was their final meeting. They did accept a final report as well as a recommendation for an item to go to the ballot. We will bring that back to you in June. As part of the charter process, the item for the ballot has to flow through you to go to the supervisor of elections. So we'll bring that back to you. Also, just for your awareness, your Land Conservation Committee is reviewing actual properties now. So I know Sharice isn't able to be here, but just take note of that. And lastly, the canvassing board. So you do have the primary and general election coming up. So we will put it on the agenda probably for the next meeting, but under the state statute, the chair is normally serves on the canvassing board with an alternate. There are some restrictions. You cannot be an active participant in someone who's a candidate. So we'll just need to discuss that, but I just wanted to give you a heads up that that's coming. And then, other than that, I think that's it.
Question. So if you're not running, don't go because, I mean, we have to have three
Right.
of us, correct?
Well, you need at least the chair and an alternate, or if you're unavailable, two alternates. So I know that the supervisor of election would like for us to have at least three, but we'll have to sort through that. So, yes. And the only other thing, which I don't know if it'll come up during commissioner comments, but at the last board meeting, we were asked about the data center moratorium. So we have, we're working on that and have that on the agenda for your consideration at the next meeting in June. So if there's anything in particular anybody's looking forward for in connection with that moratorium, just let us know. So.
All right. County attorney, or county manager.
Yes, ma'am. Madam Chair, Commissioners, two items for you. First one, just a reminder, our budget workshop is scheduled for Tuesday, the 9th of June from 9 in the morning to 11 here in the boardroom. Both Troy and MJ are hard at work with preparing the slides and getting all that information together. We are still under a burn ban. I know it's been raining out a little bit here and there in different parts, but just want to remind everybody, please, there is no burning throughout the county. And then we also are under a water restriction where you can only irrigate your lawn once a week. So St. John's Water Management has put that out. It's available on their website. But again, as we look to the forecast ahead, we probably see some more rain ahead as I look at Tim out there. So long as it's just enough to get us out of this, and that's enough, and not a torrential downpour. But pending that, any questions for me?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, start on this end today. Commissioner Randall?
Yeah, concerning the data center, are we including, have a moratorium, and, to me, that's kicking the can down the road unless we're going to do something during that period of time. And I guess I need to know what the thoughts of whomever is concerning a moratorium. Are we going to set up a study group, or what are we doing about, or what are the desires? Because otherwise, we're going to know, if we don't study it, we're going to know as much then as we know now, which is not much.
So I believe that the direction at the last board meeting was to follow along somewhat similar to Nassau County. And Nassau County does have a pretty large-scale study group. I think what we were going to propose in connection with this is that we have a study group within our county staff to be able to address what needs to be done as far as from planning standpoint. And then certainly if we need to open it up to a bigger study group, we can certainly do that.
I just want us to be doing something. I don't know what that is or what it looks like, but otherwise we won't know.
Madam Chair, if I may, also we're engaging with Nassau County, both the county manager and the assistant county manager that's there. We have a scheduled meeting to talk to them, and also see them sooner than that meeting here later this week. So that's definitely one of many topics that we're going to talk to them about, and I think we can learn from what they've discovered and get educated that way. That's just.
Through the chair, if I may, ma'am, when I brought it up, that was my thought, because our code is silent. So if someone brought a data center today, we would be in a really, really bad place, and we ended up in a kind of a pickle with one of our last rezonings where it didn't really fit anywhere in our code, and it was a mulch facility. So, not a whole lot bad that can happen from that, although I guess from the fire department standpoint, maybe it could be. But at any rate, so, but with the data center, it could be a very different story. So that was kind of my thought, was that we could, during that year, address that. And my understanding is the Nassau ordinance or the moratorium, if someone brings an application for one, it immediately cancels the moratorium, and then they have to hear it through their process. And I think that's the way that it's legal. I think that's how you can get away with, we don't have any pending applications currently, and our code is silent, so that's why we're allowed to do it, if it's my understanding.
And I'll look into that. It doesn't from the ordinance that I was provided, and they still have a second reading coming up. But from the ordinance I was provided, it is a moratorium for the full 12 months.
Okay.
They just haven't received any at this point, and so it stops it at this point forward, which would be similar to ours.
Marshall was who told me if they got an application, so for
We'll check
what
on
it's
that.
worth, yeah.
I'll ask them.
Okay.
So what
Thank-
does the moratorium do? Just dissuade people from coming? What is it?
Yeah, well, what the governor signed the bill that said that they have to go to the local government if they apply for a data center. So what my hope is that if we pass the moratorium, is that we have a year to figure out what our local, guide rails are, and they won't come to us until that year's over, so we can be ahead of it versus trying to figure it out the way we were with the mulch plant. Because it never really fit. And then there's another mulch plant further down on 218 that has a different zoning, and so it was allowed. And so, I don't know. It may not be the best idea, it's just an idea.
Okay. Thank y'all.
You brought up a subject that I wasn't going to bring up here, but talking about mulch plants on Blanding across from Gordon Chevrolet, there's an RV place. I think they own the property on the other side of Blanding that has a mulch plant going in there. And I just was wondering if that's a legal place. He can, I mean, there's thousands of tons of stumps there. And I don't know whether it's legal or not, but we need to look into that. But anyway, for the undersheriff, we're under assault with electric bikes, electric one-wheelers, electric scooters, electric motorcycles. And I know, I think the governor has something on his desk that hasn't been signed yet, but I haven't had time to research it, but I don't know whether it applies to Clay County. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know where to tell them to ride their bikes. Commissioner Squirmelo and I passed on, I think it was Milwaukee, about a month ago, and there were 4 teenagers. I don't think anybody had a helmet on, doing wheelies on electric motorcycles. They were going fast. So, as for safety of our residents, do they belong on the sidewalk? Do they belong on a bike path, or do they belong on the roadway? What are the requirements? Are they licensed? Are they insured? Do they have to be 16? I don't know what the rules are. So somehow we need to get our hands around this. We've had a death in my district, and I'm waiting for the report for that, which I haven't received it. And I just talked to the parents Sunday, I think it was, and they're looking for the report. And they haven't received a report on the death of their daughter. So she was on an electric bike in the roadway, I think, but without the report, I don't know. So it is a problem in the county, and I don't see us doing anything about it. So and I'm frustrated with it because we need to have rules. We set rules for golf carts, but we haven't set any rules for anything else. So and quite honestly, I almost hit somebody. When you come up to an intersection, there's sidewalks. You expect people to be walking or pushing a stroller or walking a dog, not a 30-mile-an-hour moped or whatever is on it. And it scared me, okay, because 2 seconds later, and I would have hit him. So we need to somehow get our hands around that. So I don't know what we can do, how we can do it, but I'm looking for guidance.
I think there's parallels between what we see with e-bikes, what we see with drones in the past. The technology has landed upon us before a regulatory and legal framework, and we've got to work our way through it.
They want you in the mic.
Good afternoon. Ron Linvey, Undersheriff, Clay County Sheriff's Office. I think what we see with the e-bikes is a parallel to what we've seen in the past with drones, and that the technology has landed upon us and outpaced the regulatory and the legal environment. So I have not read through what the governor's waiting to sign. We usually get those legal updates from the Florida Sheriff's Association once they're signed with guidance on how to implement. That hasn't happened yet, so I haven't seen it. But it is an area where there is not a great legal framework yet. And we see
not just our county, but counties all throughout the state and all around the country struggling with the same issues until we get, legal enforceable laws on the books. It's difficult for us to regulate.
Yes, but I see other counties taking action.
Sure.
I see Orlando taking action, or Miami or Orlando, I forget.
Orange County.
Orange County.
Yep.
So, I don't know what we're waiting for. For somebody to tell us what to do, I think we're smart enough to figure this out. It's just, I think we need to.
I think the only risk would be a superseding, state statute that could overturn a local ordinance, but,
So-
that's a risk that you're willing to take, then certainly you
And
could.
it does. I mean, but until then, we're getting people, people are being killed by on these things. So, I mean, is that acceptable? Not to me, okay? So that's one of my concerns.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
We're in the law enforcement business, not the law writing business, unfortunately. So
Well,
as soon
but-
as we get
yeah,
something we can enforce, we will do it.
We're in the law regulation business, but it's got to be enforceable. So it's a hand in glove situation.
Sure.
We got to work together. So I just think I don't know whether we set up a working group to look at this or what, but until we do, the next step is sometime in the very near future. And I just don't see, I can't consciously sit here and say, oh, that's okay, that's acceptable. No, I don't think so,
Well, we're happy to play whatever role we can in a work group to work through it.
Y'all know what Orange County has said? I mean, like, where are they allowed, or,
No, they're struggling with it too. Everybody's struggling with it, but they're taking action. I didn't have time.
They passed an ordinance last week. I can't remember off the top of my head what it entails. I did send it to Courtney so she can take a look at that. And I agree, Commissioner Reniger, we've talked about it. So I'm happy to work with you or whoever, whatever we need to do. Well, last Thursday, I judged FFA, or I participated in FFA interviews at Clay High School. And as I was driving because I had been in Orange Park, so I came down 17. I did y'all's normal commute, and I came down 17 and turned on 16, and right near the high school, there was an ambulance up on the sidewalk with a Green Cove Springs police, and I think it looked like an e-bike to me, and the kid was on the sidewalk. So I think it's young people trying to get places quickly. We all love to have that, but we have to do something. I don't know.
And they're becoming more, maybe I dreamed it, but I saw an electric motorcycle with Tesla nameplate on the side. Now, I haven't had time to research whether Tesla manufactures a vehicle like that, or whether somebody just glued a logo on the thing. But these things are pretty powerful. They're a motorized vehicle. So anyway, we don't have the proper regulatory oversight.
I just want to throw out there that I agree with both of you as well. I think like you, Commissioner Reniger, I've thought a lot about it. And, one of the things I think that, is it enforceable for CCSO to pull over patrol cars and, radar kids on bikes? Probably not. But I do think leaning more towards of a age limit and or some sort of, someone had a great idea the other day about if the bike, motorized people transport mover device can go over, if it can go over a certain miles per hour, you have to take a class to have a motorcycle license, those types of things. I think the days of when I was growing up, razor scooters, they used to call them, they weren't motorized.
Yeah.
Your leg was your motor, right? So you can only go so fast. And like you've said, Undersheriff, that's way out the window at this point. Some of these look like they're, gas, but they're actually electric, but they go just as fast. So, I think sometimes you have to protect people from themselves, and this is kind of where we're at. So, and in this case, I think there's consensus enough of all of us that, hey, this is something we're probably willing to stick our neck out and be first or progressive with it. And if we get overridden by the state, we did it in the name of doing something in the name of public safety. So,
with our increased population too, it's just, it's scary to think about. And I saw a guy on 209, Henley, the other night on the sidewalk, and it was getting to be dark, And I'm just thinking about a kid just coming out of a street, you know, and right in front of him. I mean, he wouldn't have even had a chance to react. And then he turns left, and then he's all in the construction zone, and he's doing wheelies, and like, I mean, okay, getting a place, trying to get somewhere is one thing, but then doing all that, I mean, so yeah, we got to do something.
I've seen in other jurisdictions, not in Florida, where it escalates to the point of what you're referring to, where somebody has lost their life in an e-bike accident. And what I've noticed is, especially because to your point, Commissioner Condon, what happens is it's typically children who are on their way to somewhere. When this happens, those jurisdictions, as inflammatory as this is going to sound, and it probably is, they lay blame at the foot of the parent because that child is not purchasing that e-bike for themselves. And especially the time of day when a lot of these incidents are happening, it's during school hours or when somebody is ingressing or egressing from school. And so what I'm finding is if we want something that's actionable, I think it was, well, I'll refrain from telling you which state it was, but at the end of the day, accountability for children cannot be set apart from the parent. And I don't care how old you are. In America, 18 is the age where you get to make unless what you're doing is so egregious. But in that situation, like most, when it's that serious, the parent is culpable. And so in my district last year, a child on an e-bike hit the bus. And the parents were in an uproar, and they were calling the school district, and they were calling me. And at the end of the day, the report was what it was. The child hit the bus. And I don't want to make it seem as though we're going to be insensitive about a situation like this, but government should not be the lead on a conversation like this, in my opinion. Parents need to protect their own kids. They have got to be involved. And the reason why is because we cannot deploy law enforcement and emergency personnel every single time something like this happens when there are more agents involved, or at least it shouldn't be that way. And I know that it's a traditional perspective to ask parents to be responsible for their own kids, but that's where we are in society when it's the kids that are dying and parents that are raising their fists at government as if government is the solution to all of their problems, and I beg to differ. I think that we can be a partner, but we should not be taking the lead on this. And that's my take on it.
Anyway, I'm looking for some way to help resolve this problem. I mean, we've developed laws for golf carts. We've developed laws for four-wheelers, but we're blind to electric motorcycles, scooters, one-wheels, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to change the subject a little bit. Last time I brought to your attention the Department of Health has issued, and I'm going to read it again, 161 health cautions, blue-green algae health cautions for Doctors Lake. Now that's a lesser risk than a health alert, which they've issued 139, all of which were done in the last 5 years. So health alert means don't get in the water, don't fish in the water, don't recreate in the water, we have water. It's just not safe water. So in the last 2 weeks, we had a meeting with a company called Molair or something like that, which deals with nano bubbles in the lakes. But anyway, we had a meeting with them to look at Doctors Lake, which we did. And it's possible that we may be able to do a project funded by Florida DEP. Indian River Lagoon is already working a similar project. Biscayne Bay down in Miami, they're working a similar project trying to clean up the lake. And it's a matter of these FDEP grants are wastewater, stormwater, septic sewer solutions. They're all encompassing. So I'm going to ask the commission commission to, stupid phones. You didn't hear that, but I did. I'm going to ask the commission concurrence to have our grant department continue to look at grants from FDEP to fund a exploratory project as such in Doctors Lake. I don't know any more about it than that. But they have a grant project for shoreline, safe waterway cleanups, that type stuff, so.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, we took a look at it, Troy and I, earlier today. Through the budget, through the state budget, FDEP is awarded monies towards this. There are 5 companies, like Commissioner just mentioned, that basically have a continuing contract with them, and then these projects get awarded. So if it pleases the board, we know that the budget is about complete at the state level and anticipate $10 to $11 million that would go to projects like this. But if it pleases the board, we'll take a look at it some more and come back with a follow-on and a step ahead on how to get those monies towards this particular problem here in Doctors Lake, in these micro nano bubbles and ozone. Yep.
Great. All right. Good.
And that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Capera?
Thank you. I have no comments tonight.
Go on.
Yeah, just a few. So, Tourism Development Council update. We had a great meeting last week, and I just want to commend Teddy and his team. You know, I finally feel that we're back. When I say we're back firing on all cylinders, getting our sports tourism vendor back on. Events are firing. Great things are happening out at the regional sports park, and I'm sure he's briefed all of you on that. The netting system that they're working on getting up, which will expand our capacity even more. So super proud of the work that they're doing and excited about that. In the tourism realm, they had the Seamark Ranch Rodeo last weekend, and they expanded that event because it was so big to 2 nights. So some really good feedback for a local event that brings a lot of people into Clay County, so that was great. And then the other 2 things, first, most schools graduated Friday night, so congratulations to the class of 2026. And as Mr. Broski used to always say, hopefully you're ready with one of the 3 E's, to enlist, enroll, or employ. Because I know you probably woke up on Saturday morning and some of them probably thought, well, now what? So one of those 3 is a great option. But we're super excited for the future, seeing those scholarship winners tonight, just some outstanding leaders. 2 of the 5 actually participated in Commissioner for a Day, and it's no shock because they're very accomplished. So congratulations to them. And lastly, yesterday we were at Memorial Day at Spring Park, and Riverfest has become such a patriotic and community-centered event, and it was really great to be there. And I'm always reminded, even today, the veteran that did the pledge today was in Fallujah. I mean, you're talking about one of the largest, counterterrorism wars, at least for sure in my lifetime, and that's someone that is Clay County. And hearing some of the Green Cove council members talk about family members that they've lost in conflict really makes it hit home that it's not just something you hear about. It is something that's in the ethos of our community. So we never forget that freedom isn't free, and we're forever grateful for the sacrifices that people make so we have those freedoms. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Okay. I wanted to share some information with y'all, and I'm sure they can come in and give us a presentation if we wanted one. But I had a conversation with Austin Nicholas with NEFBA, Northeast Florida Builders Association. He shared with me that they have over 600 young people or people, because they have a 35-year-old enrolled in it, but in their apprentice program. And they said the majority of those students are from Clay County. and last week they graduated 98. Some of the local Clay County born and raised builders, and I know, you know, there's a lot of people who have issue with development and all, but people have a right to build a house, and there's still a demand for houses in our county, and so we need our builders and the local ones, the ones who are from here, we appreciate. And one of those shared with me they can't hire enough. So, you know, I have a young man that is friends with one of my sons, and he graduated actually last December with his bachelor's degree from the University of Florida, and he hasn't been able to get a job in journalism. And yet, you know, they're saying in the trades they can't get enough of these young people, you know, to fill these roles. So they, you know, they certainly want to have a good relationship, a good partnership with the county, and provide good high-wage jobs here in Clay County, here locally. They shared with me that you don't pay for the apprenticeship program, and your second year, you're already making $18 to $21 an hour, and your school is sponsored by one of the employers. So you do work, and you go to school a couple nights a week, but after 4 years, they graduate with the average salary over $60,000.
And no loans.
And no loans. So I thought that was significant, just wanted to share it with you all. I'm sure he'll be reaching out to the rest of you to share that information too. And then the other thing that I wanted to bring up, there's one for each of you, just a copy. I know you have it before, but there's a couple of things that have been bothering me, and this is the only forum that we have to bring it up in. And so I just wanted to mention them, and I don't want it to be personal. I just wanted to bring to mind. So we have the standing rules for the Board of County Commissioners that were adopted in June of 2007. And then I guess two of you will remember that we revised them in May of 2021. Commissioner Sella actually worked really hard on that revision. But there have been two things lately that have come to my attention that break these rules. And if we're gonna have rules, I think we need to follow them. So one of them was last week I got an email, and it's not to throw Teresa under the bus, but I got an email from Teresa that the chairman had assigned me to go do a recognition for staff. And so I said, what is this? Like, what is this? Well, apparently the communications department got with the chair and decided to change how we do recognitions, and they're not gonna be at our meetings anymore. They're gonna be assigned to go out. So I talked to the county manager about it, and he said, ma'am, you know, it was just a miscommunication. You should have been asked, not assigned. And he said it was because we're getting a lot of proclamation requests. And I said, okay, but that should be a decision that's made here on the board floor. There's 5 elected commissioners. And if we're gonna change how we do meetings and how we recognize people in the community, it should be something that all 5 of us weigh in on, I think, based on what it says on here, because the only assignments that the chair makes through the rules are for committees and board liaisons. The other thing is that it became very clear to me at our last meeting, and I'm not trying to dredge up difficult conversations, but there's 2 different things. We have the role of the commission auditor and the person who's doing the work and that's in it. And it became very clear to me at our last meeting that I am treated differently than the rest of you, than a lot of you commissioners, as far as the commission auditor goes. Because Commissioner Scromolo said on-call 24/7. I don't know of anything that I've ever gotten after hours at any time. Madam Chair, you said that, she does a great job. I don't have anything that she doesn't present at our meetings. And it's not to pick on anybody, but I wanted to bring on page 5, the rule about commissioners' requests for information, analysis, and research. It says that if any of us ask the commission auditor, the county attorney, or the county manager for anything that's going to require more than 8 hours of staff time, that it's supposed to be asked for at a board meeting so that we can all decide if that's where we want our employees to spend their time. And so I just wanted to bring those things up because I don't feel like those 2 things were followed, and it sort of bothered me. And I'm not looking for anything other than I just think if we're gonna have rules, that we follow our rules or we change our rules. And that's how they got changed in 2021. Commissioner Sella was not thrilled with some things. I did call him and ask him about why he did it. He said there were some things that he felt like needed ironed out, and so he did the work. So at any rate, I just wanted to bring that up. I'm not looking for discussion tonight or anything. I just wanted to voice those things. And it was uncomfortable for me to bring up, but I thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, can I add one thing? And Commissioner Condon, I appreciate this, and this is a good friendly reminder. You know, one of the things is I personally, just since you brought it up, I do like the ability to recognize our community as much as possible, at least from this one commissioner. Maybe that's something we can all talk about, how to best do that. I think that all 5 of us would probably agree that while recognition is important, the goal of our meetings is to do the business of the county. So I commend the county manager and staff and the chair for making those manageable. You know, I think we get to that 3-4 window. You don't want to go over that too much. So I'd be interested to hear other commissioners' opinions on whether, you know, the more group team, you know, recognitions. Commissioner Burke, you'd asked me to do one too with Public Works. I know Commissioner Compere's done one with the libraries. And I thought, you know, personally, it was really good in terms of in certain circumstances, right? As much as we would love to have everybody come up to the dais, we have to do the business of the county too. So, but in no way do I think what you did was, you know, negative. I just think we're trying to cast a wide net and recognize great work. So I guess my whole thesis is I really enjoy letting people know they're doing a good job, and I think we all do. So that's where I kind of stand on that.
Let me just comment. I was at the Public Works luncheon. When was that, last week? Yeah. I forget when it was. But to acknowledge their great performance, I mean, to do it here, there was 140 of them or something like that. It would be huge. And it was, to me, I thought it was very appropriate to do it at luncheon. So I don't know. I think we need to.
Don't get me wrong. I guess
Yeah,
I
I
was just
think it
caught off
just
guard. Like I had
distracts
no
from
idea.
the point to say it that way, because I don't think that we're contending, or at least I can speak for myself. I don't know how Commissioner Condon feels about this, but I think that the commentary speaks more to what the outcome was and not necessarily the process to get there. And I don't think that, I think it would distract from the point to say that we should have done it here. If I'm misunderstanding you, Commissioner Condon, please speak up. But I'm thinking what you're saying is if we have a way of handling these matters such that, because I respect that position, if we're needing to keep things tight, it's not lost on me. I've been saying for all 4 years that I've been up here that I think that we can be more efficient with our time spent here. I've been saying that. I get pushback from this board often about that. So it's ironic that this is the conversation piece. But I think what Commissioner Condon is saying is if we have rules, then let's just follow them. And it seems to me like there's a general consensus already that we would have moved to that outcome anyway, then I think that it is a little distracting to say we liked and enjoyed the presentations. Because I think that if she were to present, like I did, I enjoyed the library, but I don't think for me to talk about how beneficial it was to go out into the community speaks to what is being brought up here. And I want that to be clear because nobody is griping about what actually happened. I think it's process. Please speak up if I'm saying something. No? Okay. I just want, yeah, because I hear you and I agree. We had a good time doing it, but I don't think that that's the point that is being brought up here.
Yeah, it was just that all my point is I had no idea. It caught me off guard. I mean, I knew y'all went to those. I didn't know that a process had changed and it had been agreed upon. And so I was just totally caught off guard and felt very awkward. And so, and this is my place to bring it up. And you know, then I guess I'm the last one to go out and do one of these, and I think I'll enjoy it. I just had no idea that the process had changed.
And what are you saying that I assigned you to? Because I didn't know I assigned you anything.
A recognition for mosquito control.
Okay.
But I mean, it's fine. It's not, so I guess Howard said that it was a communications thing that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to throw him under the bus. And I think we should discuss it because, I mean, as you said, this is the only time we can discuss. I was told, the email was said that we were receiving so many proclamation requests. And so I said, of course, I mean, I have to rely on staff to make that decision, and I go along with it. So that was what happened there. And then I do remember the library, I do remember the public works, but I guess because there has been so many that maybe I did assign you. I don't remember
No, that's
that actual
fine.
one. The other thing, this other question about the 8 hours, what was that about? I didn't understand what you meant about that.
So at our last meeting, when we were talking about the commission auditor and the work that was going on, and when she had her meeting with me, and I said there were things that she was working on that I had no idea of, and a couple others said that somebody assigned her that work, I guess, or asked her to do that work, but if it's taking the hours that she said it's taking, it hasn't been presented at a board meeting and it wasn't agreed upon.
Yeah.
And so.
And I think that goes along with us asking what exactly are the duties.
Yeah.
And, hopefully that will be coming out to us so we can figure
Yeah.
that out. But because, yeah, I'm, okay, I understand that now. Okay. Well, thank you.
But maybe it sounds like we need more communication with our communications department.
Yeah, I think they've been on overload. It sounds.
Yeah, I think so. And I get it. I mean, it's not personal, but here's the thing. Is it proclamations or recognitions? Because they are not the same.
I thought of it as, I understood it to be proclamations that we were receiving so many requests. So I have to look back at the emails.
I think mine was a recognition.
Yeah.
Well, and here's my thing about it. And I
Maybe it was a typo.
have an issue with this, I think. And here's the thing about the proclamations. Our county has decided, and goes way before any of us, that we're part-time. And if they start sending us out to these organizations, and I happen to be, I'm an assistant governor with a Rotary area. So I happen to be copied on an email, on my personal email, by another assistant governor for Rotary, and he was asking about something coming up in the fall. They do that Flags for Heroes, and there was something else. And now that we're talking this through, I vaguely remember reading that and seeing a communication go back from somebody at our county office saying a commissioner will be assigned to come out to your organization. Well, I don't know how I feel about that, because we're busy. We all have other jobs, and if it's important enough for us to do a proclamation, then that's what our meetings are for, I think, in a lot of ways. And, I understand the request for proclamations, but I don't know. We're not compensated to go to a bunch of different organizations. And I do have flexibility in my work schedule, but I don't think it's fair to get dumped on because, and you can't during the day, during the school year, but then we don't want to load you up in the summer. You've got work, you work year round though, I think. And so I don't know, I just feel, and all of you are busy. I'm not saying that. I just don't know how I feel about that with the proclamations. I think maybe we should think about this a little bit more. The recognitions are fine, like to go out and visit our employees, I think that's great. And how you all got, like, you go to the luncheon or you got to go to the libraries, I think that's wonderful.
Madam Chair, if I may, they were in no way supposed to replace a proclamation or a resolution and on it. It was the ones that were emailed out was National Library Week, World Facilities Management Day, National Public Works Week, National Mosquito Control Awareness Week, and National Custodial Workers Recognition Day. They were more along the lines of a recognition, right? So if a commissioner said that he or she wanted to recognize the group that way, then there was a format or a form that the chair could say, okay, we can make that happen, a certificate gets signed, and it doesn't have any whereases on it, it's just a certificate that was presented. I think if the three commissioners can back me up on that, it was just a certificate that was there that.
So it's not a regular thing, it's just lately these has had.
It was that, and then what we did.
Was your idea? Was this your idea?
What do you mean,
No.
was what my
No.
idea?
Pulling this together for us to go out into the community and recognize, okay, okay.
Yeah, it was just a brainstorm factor that happened on it, and again, it's nice to recognize the public works folks, as Commissioner Runiger said, it's just a form of recognition, right? A proclamation, resolution, and the other form that we have are declarations, and each has a definition that I thought was sent out, but apparently wasn't sent out, and it was out there. But what we can do is, to kind of maybe wrap it up would be, we'll work with the chair on the standing rules, and if that is a desire to expand recognition or not expand recognition, we can take a direction either way. It's more like the certificate too, if you think about, for the veteran for saying the pledge, right? That's there, but we'll come back with kind of a modification of the standing rules on that, and we can go forward from there.
Anyone else? Okay. We finished? Oh, yeah.
I guess I just want to clarify, I wasn't asking for the standing rules to be changed.
Okay.
I was asking to follow them. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I was asking for. And for a change in communication, I just am requesting that if there's going to be a change in the way that we're going to communicate, that we bring it to the board floor and have the conversation, because then the public sees the conversation. So because we're going to change, if we're going to change things, it sounds like the chairman that there's efforts to move proclamations to some kind of a change. And if there is, they should know that. They're the ones who ask us to do proclamations. That's all I
Well,
was.
I don't think the staff was trying to break the rule, and I definitely wasn't trying to break the rule. I
No, I know.
probably don't know this by heart. Probably, I can tell you that right now, I don't know.
No, and it
So-
doesn't address it in there. It was more of the, yeah.
So now that we know, definitely, I think, we'll work on that, and staff can tell me what to do next. Okay.
That was all.
We're
I'm
good.
done. Yes.
Okay. How long am I chair for? I'm just kidding.
You're doing a good job. Doing a good job.
Okay. Okay, my comments are, Commissioner Ringer and I went to the Historic Triangle yesterday before Spring Park, and that was really nice, really solemn ceremony. I think Karen let us know about, they read the names of all the fallen heroes from our county. And so that was very nice. And I think they said it's the first time they've done it since 2017. So it was very a nice little thing they did. And of course, Spring Park was wonderful. My graduation for my daughter was wonderful on Friday. Yay! Yes, thank you. And so yeah, that's it. All right. So then, our last thing we have is. At this time, we'd like to recognize John Radomski on his retirement, honoring more than 21 years of outstanding commitment and service to the county, which began on May 19th, 2004. Throughout his career as an inventory control foreman, John served as the backbone of the Fleet Division. He has been the quiet professional behind the scenes whose hard work, and it didn't want to have a big to-do tonight, so we can see that that's how he is, attention to detail and exceptional management skills helped ensure the Fleet Division operated efficiently every day. Highly respected throughout the parts community and industry, John's lifelong knowledge of parts and supplies played a critical role in keeping county vehicles and equipment moving. Beyond his career, John is a devoted family man and avid outdoorsman who looks forward to spending more time with his family and eventually relocating to North Georgia. John, wherever you are, we sincerely thank you for your years of service, dedication, and professionalism. You will be greatly missed, and we wish you all the best in your retirement. Very good. All right, and And if there is nothing else for the good of order, we will adjourn.